Hello everyone, I am your Kennywood Fanatic, and welcome back to another video. I hope you all are having a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Unfortunately, roller coaster season is pretty much wrapped up here in western Pennsylvania, with only the Holiday Lights event left at Kennywood. So I figured that today I would update my way too early top 10 roller coasters video. Before we begin, I would love to give a shout out to Lightning Rod, as it would be placed number 1 if it weren't for the removal of the launch. Due to this fact, I took the experience off of my list, as I will never be able to experience this the same again. Hopefully when I ride it again, it will still be great, and I wish to be back to Dollywood soon to experience the new version of it. Well, without further ado, let's get into it. My rankings have changed quite a bit since the last video, and they will probably change soon, but this is the current rankings. Also, keep in mind that this is strictly my opinion, and that I only have 43 credits at this point, so some roller coasters that you may have ridden and think are world class may not be on this list. Coming in at number 10, I have Big Bear Mountain at Dollywood. This is a very well-themed and very immersive experience. The queue line has little hints to Big Bear, like slashes taken out of support beams and bear tracks. Alongside that, the tents in the line made me feel like I was actually going to sign up for the expedition. The ride vehicles had great jokes that my father and I absolutely loved, and if you are in the back row, you may get a little sprinkle from that waterfall. Many people complain about the lack of forces, but for a family coaster, it had a great amount. I had a little bit of airtime, and the ending helix was great, overall fun for the family, and not the last Dollywood ride on this list. Coming in at number 9, I have Thunderbolt at Kennywood. This coaster has been up and down my rankings this year, from starting the year at number 7, then to moving down to number 15 because of many rough rides, to it running perfectly at Phantom Fall Fest and cracking my top 10 once again. This ride will always hold a near and dear place in my heart for it being one of my very first big roller coasters. Riding it with my mother for the first time, hyping it up, I said it once and I'll say it again, this is a world-class coaster. It was the first roller coaster that I ever hyped up, and it was the ride I wanted to ride as a kid. The laterals and the helix were outstanding, and the row 3, car 1, if you know, you know, that airtime going into that lift hill is insane. You will struggle to find airtime like that anywhere else in the park. And yes, that is even comparing it to Phantom and to Jackrabbit. That is insane. This park has many great coasters known for little pops of airtime or just airtime in general. So I hope this never leaves the park. I love this thing to death. They legally can't change anything about it, which I'm happy about. I love this thing to death. Coming in at number 8, I have my first ever steel coaster. It's Verbolten. I have no idea why, but until I went to Busch Gardens Williamsburg for the first time, I was petrified of steel roller coasters. But then I just hopped on Verbolten, which gave me confidence to ride Loch Ness, which then, when I returned home, it gave me confidence to ride Phantom. So you could say that this was the coaster that kicked off my addiction to coasters. Now I eat, sleep, breathe roller coasters and amusement parks. From that great launch to that very forceful helix, and a little surprise that I won't spoil, and a drop that looks bigger than it actually is, it gives you forces not too intense, but definitely not tame. The theming in the queue and on ride are great. This is the world's greatest family coaster. Coming in at number 7, I have my most ridden roller coaster in the state of Tennessee. It's Thunderhead. My second GCI, and by far the most intense and well-paced wooden coaster that I have ever ridden. Every element delivers, from the odd lateral force on those turns and odd positive G-forces on those turns to the odd floater on that station flyby. This coaster is one to be intimidated by. Just standing in queue, the sheer speed and loud sound coming from the trains is just intimidating. It's so smooth that at points you feel like you're skiing on butter. Thunderhead is definitely a masterpiece and should not be overlooked on your next trip to Dollywood and in your rankings. Coming in at number 6, I have the North American inversion record holder, the tallest roller coaster in the state of Pennsylvania. It's Steel Curtain. Like the Steelers, in recent years it breaks a lot, and would I recommend sitting in the back? Heck no. In fact, this is one of 2, maybe 3 roller coasters that I prefer better in the front than the back. The back is just forceless, but holy crap, that front is forceful. That drop is amazing in all sections of the train, even the back, and is probably my third favorite element on any roller coaster I have ever ridden. Yes, there is no theming, and the Steelers country never quite panned out, which both had so much potential. You may be asking yourself, well, Kennywood Fanatic, why is Steel Curtain so high up on your list if you don't like it? It's because I do love it, but it's just one of those things that I love to complain about, but actually like. Coming in at number 5, I have what is considered the world's best roller coaster by many, opening in 2018 as the world's first hyper-hybrid coaster. It's Steel Vengeance. This has undoubtedly some of the best airtime of any roller coaster in the world, and as it's been described, it is rip your face off intense. It has almost everything I value in a roller coaster except for theming and a launch, which is expected to not have theming for a Cedar Fair coaster. My one ride was alright on this coaster, but elite for if it was on any other coaster. I was placed in the middle of the train and the operators proceeded to staple me. It hurt like heck, not really, but my airtime was not as strong as it should have been, but it was still great. Another thing is that I only got one ride on this the entire trip, which I was super bummed out about, but hey, more Maverick rides. I can't wait to get back, and if one mediocre ride places it in my top 5, I wonder what more great rides will do for it in my rankings. Coming in at number 4, opening at the turn of the millennium, it's big, it's blue, it's the world's first Giga Coaster, it's Millennium Force. Now, you might be going, oh, Kennywood Fanatic, you stupid child. Why is Millennium Forceless in your top 5? Remember that this is my opinion, and I would like to start off by saying that this ride is not forceless. All of the hills delivered great airtime, and those weird turns, not the overbanks, provided many great positive G-forces. The overbanks also provided great lateral and positive G-forces. This roller coaster has some of the best views of any of the park. It's probably the best views of the park. At night, it's immaculate, looking out over the lake. I definitely recommend setting it on the lakeside. Beautiful, beautiful coaster. Definitely underrated by many. It's so overrated by many that it's underrated. So, yes. I do love me some Millennium Force. Great ride. Love it. We are now in the top 3. Coming in at number 3, we have the best red roller coaster on the continent. The roller coaster that ended the second Coaster Wars. The first ever Intamin Blitz coaster. It's Maverick at Cedar Point. This world-class Intamin should not be overlooked despite it being right next to Steel Vengeance. This is my favorite ride at Cedar Point. The ride delivers every single time. From world-class drop to the amazing stangle dives, it has many amazing airtime moments. You can feel the sheer force of the roller coaster on the brake run of all places. But as you sit there, you feel the track shake as that train is coming out of that second launch. Great, powerful second launch. Great, amazing first drop. The ops cannot staple you on this physically. I love these restraints. Great ride. Beautiful ride. I hope to be back soon so I can experience it again. Coming in at number 2, I have the best Florida roller coaster, my favorite Intamin roller coaster, and my first ever Intamin roller coaster that I ever rode. It's fast, and it's known for one of its roles. It's Velocicoaster. This ride is a packed experience with great queue line theming and on-ride theming. I was only able to get one ride on Velocicoaster, but that was in my favorite row, the very last row, including both graceful moments such as the stall and very intense moments such as the Mosasaurus roll. The ride was my number 1 for a couple months until the coaster ahead of it just took its spot right back. And it was at my number 3 during Lightning Rod's reign. Unfortunately, Lightning Rod is not operational as it was anymore. I feel like if I get more rides on this, it will move up my list. I think it definitely can beat out the next coaster for my number 1. I need more rides on it though. I need to experience it more. It's themed after my favorite movie franchise, which is Jurassic Park. So I'm so pumped that one of my favorite roller coasters is themed to it. Can't wait to ride it soon. 2026? Question mark. And last but not least, Pennsylvania's fastest roller coaster and the roller coaster with the biggest drop in Pennsylvania. It's fast, it's purple, it's Phantom's Revenge at my home park of Kennywood. This was the coaster that kicked off my insane enthusiast level addictions. Now I eat, sleep, breathe roller coasters. My friends and I were able to get the very last ride of the 2023 season on this world-class masterpiece. Every insane airtime hill delivers wonderfully, with 7 to 8 airtime moments depending on the row you sit in. As you will see in my vlog, we had an insane marathon on Phantom. I couldn't imagine my life without this world-class ride. I could not imagine Kennywood without it. I love this thing to death. It's a beautiful ride. I recommend everyone who watches this video to stop what you're doing in the summer of 2024 and go to Kennywood just to ride Phantom's Revenge. Don't even ride anything else. Just ride Phantom's Revenge. It's so good. It's so much better than anything else in the world. For me, and as I said, I only have 43 credits, so that is very subject to change. But this is a beautiful, beautiful, great ride. I love it to death. Anyways, thank you for joining me for this video. Be sure to follow my Instagram for some new videos that I will need your help for. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And shout out to Coaster Mania, Coaster Crusader, Sharp Productions Team, Zach_Clark, Coaster Force, Airtime Thrills, Kennywood, Coaster Thrills, El Toro Orion, Coaster Studios, and Canopy Coasters for letting me borrow footage for this video. Until next time, have a good one.